JoeTheFinanceGuy.com.
All right, we're on. Wow, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. And we already got Tim is already on watching us. So hey Tim. So with some good stuff on there. So great. How you doing, Ira?
I'm doing good. How are you, Joe?
Every day is a holiday.
Every day is a holiday. Okay, yeah. So I'm not driving this bus today, just so y'all know.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm doing it today.
I blame it all on my cohort. But Joe, before we even get started, and welcome to the show, everybody. We'll get to you in just a second, but I want to just commend Joe for the wonderful. Look at those sexy graphics behind you, brother.
I know, man. It's almost like a professional did that.
And they probably spent like at least 60 seconds putting that together too, huh?
Yep. Yeah, they did. They did.
Okay. So
Mariella,
welcome to the show, everybody. Joe, before we get started, put the disclaimer up, brother. I will say it for you. The views of this show.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me get there.
Orally expressed, or however else that we would express the views of the show. All of them are the sole opinions of Ira Bowman and Joe Stepke, and not that of a SEMA Credit or Rent a Center. So these are our original thoughts. We're not representing anybody but ourselves when we get them. And now that we've got that legal disclaimer out of the way, we are looking for a show sponsor. Would you like to sponsor Cup of Joe? We would.
Yeah. It would be great. And I'll tell you, I'm drinking Zevia Cola. Obviously, I've been on. I know that we've talked about this last time, but
Smart Water
and Smart Water too. I have the bottle, but it's actually not.
So let me tell you this: like they say, you are what you eat. I'm hoping you are what you drink. I need to get a little smarter. So there you go, Smart Water.
Hey, that's good. Well, I have lost. Now, I officially weigh myself tomorrow because I don't do it daily. I do it weekly. But I'm feeling really good. The last I weighed myself, I was at 260. So from 284 and a half or whatever, or wherever I started, 284 and a half. So now I'm at 260. And hopefully tomorrow I'm already in the 250s because my goal for July 1st is 250.
Yeah, you're going to get there. And I forgot to mention this. First of all, I want to stay on track. Last week, we were talking about this after the show. I was like all over the place. So we don't script the show in case that isn't like.
I forgot to do it.
It's obvious that could be. But I do want to say one thing. We are at a special time this week. We are normally going to be on an hour later. Shave your head. That will help. Yeah, I do that. It's good.
Yeah. No. It's not. It's not.
You talking about the weight loss? Yeah, I've already done it. Maybe I need to shave.
John is a friend of mine from way back when. I've known him for so many years, and he's in the rent-to-own industry as well. And I'm godfather to his youngest son, and just a great person. So I know why he's doing. And he's also. Do you see what he did? Can you see his little like moniker right there? He was in a comic book store, and he got his face. He shaved off his head, and he got his. Like one of the Joker things or whatever, face painted on the, and that's his dad that's next to him too. His dad's a great guy. So, but they were both.
I have not done any face painting on my head, but anyways, not.
You
bad.
Would actually get along with John. You two and John. I know you're listening to this. You and John have the same mannerisms.
Oh, I'm sorry, John.
and all the way down to the sarcastic comments too.
Smarty pants comments.
Yeah, yep. That the same exact type. So,
Joe, we got to get together, buddy.
Yeah, he's in North Carolina, and I haven't seen
it's
him.
John, not Joe. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, I don't want to let that pass. What you said earlier, I just wanted to make sure people knew, like, hey, why are you on now? We're not changing the time.
Oh, right.
I have an event tonight that I've got to drive through LA traffic. And I told Joe, originally we were thinking about just canceling the show because of traffic. But I was like, hey, if we go an hour early, then we can still do it. So here we are, and we're going to alternate. In case you're curious, this is by the way of like logistics, but Joe and I every week will alternate. So 1 week it'll be on my channel, and 1 week it'll be on Joe's channel. So that might get a little confusing for you guys at first, but you'll eventually get it. And if you don't see it, just send us a message and say, hey, where's the link to your show? I want to join, and we can send you the info. But we're basically going to be on at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern every Friday evening. So plan to have a cup of Joe with us as you drive home or as you get home. If you don't want to have a cup of Joe, have something else. But you know, we're drinking water. We're drinking water because we're a bunch of fat men trying to lose some weight. It is what it is.
Well, exactly. That's exactly why I'm doing it. However, when I do get that sweet tooth, I go grab a Zevia. A Zevia is like,
what is it? Tell me that. What is it? Is it that sparkling water stuff?
Yeah, it's sparkling water. This one tastes like cream. I think it's creamy root beer or something like that.
So yeah. we don't have, what is that one called? Zobia what? Zevia?
I got it at Meijer Supermarket in Noblesville, Indiana.
I remember Myers.
Myers.
No, it's called Myers. We used to have Myers in Ohio. I used to go there. But out here we don't have Myers. We have Stater Brothers. That's where we shop. Stater Brothers. Stater Brothers has a different brand of that we buy, but I don't. I never pay attention. To me, it's just all soda. So RJ, who just graduated high school, and he's got a job at Pizza Hut, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so that's his first real job. So he's working at Pizza Hut. Anyways, he was drinking, I thought, a can of soda last night. I'm like, it looked like Sprite. I'm like, ooh, what is that? I've never had that kind of Sprite. And he goes, Dad, this is sparkling water. And I'm like, what the hell? What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's bubbling up like Sprite.
Well, I would imagine now, is that, I wonder if the sparkling water is 0 calories, because this is 0 calories.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, so mine's 0 calories, so there's no carbs, no nothing in it. So it's just, and the ingredients are like the flavoring, the stevia, and the sparkling water, and that's it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have any of that stuff.
I like it.
I have water and black coffee. Those are my 2 drinks.
Well, you know me. I'm just trying to get back to get my guns back. So
see how impressive this isn't. I mean, that's all you need to know right there. Like, I go to the beach probably more than most people, but when I go, I'm always dressed like this with my camera around my neck, taking pictures of the people that
I need some sun.
People that are more deserving of being scantily clad are thankfully the ones that usually are scantily clad. I'm fully dressed. Anyways, Joe, what big things highlights your week? Let's do.
Oh man, there was a couple of big things came down today. Yeah, well, and I can't even tell what that. However, it takes.
Somebody said something really funny. Excuse me for just 1 second. They said what it means is it tastes like butt. Now, who is that? Oh. That is Lee Marlar. Now, Lee, I want to help you out since you made a funny comment, and I'd like you to keep making comments. But I want put that back up. See how it says LinkedIn user in a gray box there? What that means is your security settings on LinkedIn, you just got to go in and make a quick adjustment and set that to third parties, allow third parties to see it. And then when we pull up your comment in the future, you actually get credit. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that's Lee Marlar. But Lee, we could see your picture, and that can help you grow. We can help you build your LinkedIn following just by, letting our users see who you are. So
yep.
Anyway, Joe, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's all right. No, some good news came today.
I like good news.
That I do too. I really like the good news. I still have to wait and see.
Can you share the good news, or are you just telling us there's good news? You do this to me all the time, Joe.
I know, but I can't sort. I can't see it.
All right, so it's in the form of a new account.
Yeah. No. It's my old account, the Fortune 500, which you know about.
Yeah.
But I'm getting credit for everything back, so which is just.
I got you. This is one of those the expressions of this show are solely of Ira and Joe.
Right. And it was a great conversation, and the the CEO of where I work right now. Just such a great person, along with the EVP who's in there right now. Just great. I'm really happy. Just all I got to say is really happy. I don't want.
That's what I want to hear. I'm happy for you when you're happy.
Yeah.
I actually had a hard. Hey, put that one up.
I am.
Ryan Jackson's my buddy. So when I was in Hawaii, I spent time with him. So I had a hard conversation. In fact, Ryan is on the board of advisors or something like that for this nonprofit that we're helping. And you know about this. This is
right. Ryan was talking
the veteran stuff that I'm working on, right? So I had a tough conversation with Ryan. We were doing kind of like a lessons learned review preparation meeting. And when things don't go right, you actually can learn more if you're open to it and actually make improvements faster than when things go right. Did I say that right? When things go wrong, you're able to extract more usually because you can pinpoint why it didn't work. Right. So we were doing one of those. Well, I had an hour-long conversation today with the CEO of that organization, and I shared, Ryan, the exact same stuff. I was blunt, and I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to try to come off as rude, so please don't take any. I'm not trying to be offensive. I just want to be helpful. And he took it in the right spirit. We had a great conversation. So there's some positive changes that sometimes come when you have these hard conversations, as long as the people are in it with the right mentality. So anyways, I wanted to give props to Ryan for that, because Ryan and I had the call earlier this week, and that prepped me for this call. I didn't know this call was coming, but when it did, I'm like, hey, let me just tell you what I really think, as opposed to platitudes and superficial niceties. Sometimes that would have been helpful. So anyways, thanks for that.
I like that. Like, how do you fit two awesome people like yourselves on one call? It's hard, very hard, because it's all about Ira. I'm only kidding, man. I'm just, by the way.
Well,
it's all about me.
It's hard sometimes to follow Ira.
We're going from here.
We're gonna do this ping pong around Ira's brain. Good luck.
I do want to mention, and I was talking. I talked about, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I've been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi on.
I didn't watch that yet, so
man, I think it's great.
I want to watch it, dude. I'm loving it. But
I'm loving it
right now with the stuff I got going on. Like, I feel bad. My pastor, he sent me a text. His wife is out of town, so he's got a little extra free time. He sent me a text and he goes, hey, let's get together for lunch on Saturday. And I go, I can't, because I got an event I'm supposed to go to in Los Angeles on Saturday, which is now tomorrow. And so he says, how about breakfast? Like, this is a guy that wants to get together. You know what I mean? Right. And I'm like, I work till 2 or 3 in the morning every night. If you guys haven't noticed that, like, if you're up at 11 o'clock, you'll see me posting.
Some of your posts, and when I wake up and it's like,
right.
4 hours ago, I'm going, my gosh.
Well, I don't do 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock meetings, guys. I just don't. Eventually you have to sleep sometime.
Right.
And so I go to bed usually somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning every day. So that's when I go to bed, and I'm not getting up for work or anything really, unless it's an emergency. I'm not getting up at 7 a.m. or 8 o'clock to get on a call.
Right.
So all these calls that happen at 8 a.m., I've just started to say, I'm sorry, but it's not for me. I'm now this is you can take this one of two ways, but I mean it in a positive way. I'm taking better care of myself. Right. Oh. So I'm making sure I get sleep. I'm making sure I get what I need, because people will run you ragged if you don't take care of yourself. You've got to put in some boundaries. That's the word Michael O'Connor uses all the time. I'm setting up boundaries. I'm like, that's a good thing. I need to do that too.
Right.
So I'm actually doing a challenge. We didn't talk about this last week, but one of the things that I got from the San Diego event that I went to, I guess it was last Saturday. Yeah. Saturday. They had a challenge. One of the speakers issued a challenge, and I thought, I'm going to do this. And my mom's doing it too. For 60 days, I'm not asking for anybody's opinion on anything I'm doing. I'm just going to figure out what I want to do, and I'm going to go with my gut. You know what I mean? Like my
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm married to New York Italian, so I'm just curious how that work out when you're married, or does that you're talking about professionally? Because
I will tell you that it can make things interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure it can.
Yeah, I'm not going to give any examples because I want to be able to eat dinner later.
Right, exactly. My wife would Listen, I've got this new challenge that I heard about. It's for
Yeah.
60 days.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask for anybody's opinion.
Yeah.
We're just doing what I want to do.
Now,
Yeah,
hang on a second. I didn't say we.
Oh, right.
We is different than I.
Okay, all right. Just what I wanted to.
No, like, seriously though, right? Like, I mean, stuff that involves the whole house, that's a different deal than.
Right.
Are you going to go to bed at 3 a.m. or 3:30, or are you going to read a book, or are you going to watch TV? Are you going to like host an event in San Diego that might or might not end up costing you money out of your own pocket? You know, things like that. Those are things that I'm legitimately doing right now. Like, I launched, if you guys are paying attention, I launched SoCal Business Network Supercharger. I announced it this past week. Right. So I have speakers coming. I have an audience coming. I'm looking for sponsors. I'm hosting a huge event on August 4th. I didn't ask my wife's opinion about it. I normally would, but I did my homework. I've been, kicking around this idea, and I decided to go for it. So, that's an example, right?
No, that is. I mean, and I think Ryan's right.
Isn't that called being single? No, you guys are taking this the wrong way. I'm not talking about marriage stuff. I'm talking about Ira stuff. Don't tell me that your wife doesn't have stuff, or Brianna for Ryan. They have stuff that they do. They don't ask you. They just do it.
Oh, do you want to know something? I got to tell you this. And hey, Tina's in the house. I also want to go back to somebody else. Deb Curtis. I know her and I were talking on LinkedIn and stuff like that. So
she's a great lady. I love her.
Mariella.
And Mariella, of course, love her to pieces. She's out of Santa Barbara.
But
we got the country represented here pretty well. We got Hawaii, Michigan, Arizona, and California, just in those few comments that you just.
Well, I got two things for you. First off, I met somebody. So I went to one of my retailers yesterday in Anderson, Indiana. And she knew who Alicia was from Sensi.
Nice.
And I go like this. I know
that.
You're just saying that because I just said her name. She goes, I don't know her. I know of her because of how much she sold.
Yeah.
And I went like this. Wow, that is awesome. But they were in a little bit of stores. She's like second, third generation Sensi. So
my wife has done an amazing job with Sensi. A lot of people don't understand that if they're not in that space, but she is known. She's always in the top 1%, whatever. Yeah.
And then the second thing I was going to say is dovetailing a little bit on the 60-day challenge, which I respect that with you doing. But my wife and I were watching. Jen was watching something on, could have been Facebook. I don't know, some sort of social media thing. And she came out and told me, she goes, believe it or not, there are people, husbands and wives, that go out and slip permission slips in front of one another if they want to go out and do something. And I went like this. Are you talking about like a hall pass type thing or whatever? She goes, no. It's a permission slip to go out. She goes, can you imagine you doing that? I go, no. I just
no. Yeah, no.
So I mean, I couldn't see that, but I guess this is a new.
No, I've heard of the other thing you innuendoed.
The hall pass, or
if people are picking up what Joe's putting down there are open marriage type things.
Well, I mean, and I wasn't.
I'm not into that either.
I'm not into that, and I'm not. But it was.
I'm not hanging pineapples upside down in my shopping cart.
Oh my God, that's funny that you talk about that. My daughter, my oldest one, educated my wife and I on
the upside down.
Right, it's like people who have certain colored doors. That have pineapples or what.
There's a whole lifestyle there, guys. If you don't know this thing, I'm not going to educate you, but you can.
I didn't know about it. I told my daughter, I go like this. Now she's 29, and she's more like the social media and stuff like that. I go, get out of this. Is not. You're serious? She goes, Dad, I'm telling you. You look this up.
No, she's dead serious.
And I go, I'm not going
to their house in their bathroom and check out the color of their curtains and stuff like that in the.
But I'm not going to go on Google to start going like this. Well, hey, I could just see that now. My Google search.
I don't even like to use pineapple icons at all for that reason. Look, I'm married with 8 kids, dude.
But I would have never known that. Do you know how old I was when I learned about this?
Yeah, you were 51.
I was 51 when I learned about this. So wow, that's how old I was. I was this many days. But
I
anyway,
was a grown man.
the point I was trying to make was to slip a permission slip. I mean, how do you do that? You know, like, hey,
have you heard the term emasculation?
right? And my wife said the same thing. Like her, I mean, my God, my wife's gone out. I wouldn't.
There's a thing called trust, right? If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. And if you don't, you're in serious trouble anyway. So
right, but to the permission slip thing, I'm
going out tonight. I'm going to be out till the wee hours in the morning because I'm driving to LA and coming back. I didn't ask my wife if I could go. I let her know I'm going. I mean, what do you want?
Right.
I'm happy to hear this. Her husband, by the way, is a super talented Steve Stockmall. If you guys haven't looked him up, he's got a YouTube channel. He's got all kinds of stuff. But this guy is seriously talented, and he does music lessons for kids. Now they're remote, so you don't have to show up at his place. You can, let's say you're in Noblesville, Indiana, or you're in, Moreno Valley, California, or wherever you happen to be. You're not with Joe and I. You can get on a virtual music lesson with a really good musician, and he teaches multiple instruments. I know piano. Hang on a second. I'm speaking that term. Maybe not piano. Drums, bass, guitar. I think it's trumpet, saxophone. It might be piano.
If he does trumpet, he probably does trombone.
Yeah. Ask Mariella. Mariella, we're just waiting for you to type up the comment with the actual instruments. But anyways, I created his logo. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. I used musical notes in the treble clef to create the logo, but it was a lot of fun.
I would love to make jokes right now saying I don't know what you're talking about, but all my kids,
right, band geeks,
are So there's nothing. Logan came home from school today. Was their last day of school.
Yeah, my kids too. So Debbie comes home bawling. I'm like, there we go. Yeah, I got it right. Drums, no trumpet. It was trombone, no. Drums, bass, guitar, piano, and trombone. Wow. But Joe, she came home bawling her eyes out. And we're like, what's the problem? She goes, some of her friends weren't there today. So she's sad. She's broken up because she didn't get to say goodbye to some of her friends. Anyways. So Logan comes home and
he was texting all day today, and I was in meetings.
He was texting you.
He was texting me, and he got A's on everything, and just all psyched. And then when the first thing he did when he got home, straight to the pool to hang out with his friends. So
I mean,
that's what
you should do. Logan's 15.
Yeah, he's 15.
Yeah. He should go straight to the pool. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Does he work? Is he doing any work this summer?
No, around here. You cannot. It changed to 16.
Oh, that's the minimum age.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now Ashley Carter is one of the people that I work with, and hey, Ashley.
Ashley is my kind of people. She said, "Band geek in the house."
Now I was a band geek too. I played the clarinet, and I'm not ashamed.
Now wait a minute. Let's not let that just go by. Slide ahead. Let's park right there.
What?
Macho men play the clarinet. Why? Because the rest of the people in the section are all female, and you got a captive audience.
Listen, no,
beautiful strategy, Joe.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why I did it.
Don't lie to me now.
I can't remember, and if any of my friends from Round Lake,
you had to spit on that reed to get the music going,
and that were in band with me, and I don't remember who. I'm trying to think my band teacher back then. I know Debbie Durham was one of them.
I was excited, but so back in the day when we were still cavemen in the 90s, when I was going to high school, most of the sections were like stereotypical what you would expect, at least in our band, right? So I'm a percussionist, or I should say I was a percussionist. I'm not really a percussionist anymore. I play the guitar now, but I don't really have a drum set to play. So the percussion section was mostly guys, but we had a couple girls. So it was like 10 people in our percussion section, and like I think 2 girls and 8 guys. So it was mostly dudes. But one of my good friends played the flute. I think we've talked about this before, because when you bring up the clarinet, it makes me think of the flute. He admitted it though. He's like, oh yeah. When I was in junior high, I started with the flute because I knew all the pretty girls were going to play flute.
Thinking back, that is so true.
You are smarter than me.
Right.
I mean,
but I played the clarinet because I liked the clarinet. I loved the sound. And
Tim said he played the trumpet. Tim, were you? The trumpet's kind of a mixed section even back then. I'm sure now it's all pretty much equal, but
I wanted to show something. Ashley Carter said she was a percussionist, and the one thing, like, she was the only girl in hers that she's talking about.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Well, okay, Ashley, did that influence your decision to play the drums? So I'm giving credit for the guy doing that because they're surrounded by girls. The girls would be the opposite, because I think a couple of the percussionists in my day, they kind of admitted to that too. Like, I wanted a way to meet boys. So,
well, my girls, they played like Tori and Sierra. They play like Sierra plays saxophone as well as clarinet and bass clarinet. Tor plays drums, clarinet, and guitar. And cymbals, and Sierra does cymbals too. So hang
on a second, you said percussion and cymbals. It's the same section.
I know, I meant cymbals. So hey, listen,
all right,
sorry, but Tori was part of.
And then you guys take your hands together.
Indoor percussion, and so she did the cymbals. And then when Tor went off to college, Sierra took her place.
Yeah, but look, when it's cymbals, you don't hold it there. You gotta smash it and then let it go, and you shake your hand.
I know. I'm sure. They just don't do it around me. So,
well, you know what I always thought was funny? It just never made sense. I mean, I get why they do it, but I don't get why they do it. Remember in marching band, they always had the littlest like runt on the biggest bass drum falling down.
That still happens. I mean, he's not falling. They're not falling down or anything.
Yeah, but they're dragging like you're supposed to be marching in time, and these poor kids are carrying like the heavy thing. You know what it is? I mean, I'll tell you, the theory behind it is you've got the bass drums take the less skill, so you put the least talented folks or the entry-level folks start there, and they work their way up all the way to quads. Usually quads is the king of the hill, so you'll have your percussion section later and maybe a couple other, depending on the size of your drum line. But your most skilled players typically are on your quads, and then you'll have percussionists, and then you'll have actually cymbals would come before bass. So it would be typically you're going to have quads, drum, percussion, snare drum, and then you're going to have some type of cymbals, crash cymbals.
I'm actually, so she plays the melody keyboard, and I know
yeah. No, that's cool.
And so arch drums, so that is
those also. When you're talking about rank, again, it depends on if you're talking about marching band or concert band. But for marching band, you don't typically have those, but some of them did. Again, your drum line could be 30 people deep.
Right.
Like, it depends on the size of the school and how big your band is, and also how big the budget is sometimes. But anyways, yeah, no, that stuff. I played every percussion instrument there was. That's the only reason I took piano, is because piano was, and I couldn't figure it out at the time. I'm like, how does playing the keyboard equate to being a percussion instrument? It's about the timing of it, but you know what I mean? No sticks, you're using your fingers. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, I played timpanis. I played what we used to call the xylophone. I mean, people call them different things. Snare drum, quads. I started crash cymbals. I didn't actually ever march with a bass drum on, but I was a percussion section leader in my school for 2 years. So I had to like teach the newbies how to play I had to in practice put on the harness and show them how to do it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, a college band. I was also in college band, but I was not in the marching band for college. I was only in our auxiliary band. So basically we did the basketball games. There you go. And I was playing auxiliary percussion, which means I played everything except for the actual traditional drum set. We had a drum set player, and then I was the auxiliary guy. So I was doing things like the triangle and the cowbell and tambourine.
We always need more cowbell.
Yes, we do. And fun fact, I was given a warning at the NCAA 2 tournament in 1996. We were playing San Jose State. We were playing Kentucky. We got beat in the second half. But in the first half, we were really close. We were only down by 4 points in the first half. Anyways, I was given a warning because I was making too much noise during the free throw attempt when the other guys were shooting. but I was using instruments, and apparently there was a rule against that. I'd never had that called on me the whole season on any other games. That was my freshman year. And anyways, that's my claim to fame. I was on ESPN, kind of, because we remember back then the bands used to go da-na-na, da-na-na, and then during the NCAA tournament they would do that. Well, I was in the shot. It wasn't focused on me, but I was in the shot when we did that because we were playing Kentucky, who ended up winning the national championship that year. We were their first round victory. Anyways. What line did he steal? Joel stole my line.
We always need more cowbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from Christopher Walken and
Saturday Night
Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live. Yeah,
100%.
We always, and I'm trying to look. I usually have my cowbell somewhere, but it must be in the other part of the back cave somewhere.
I still have a cowbell.
Yep, I have one, and I don't know where it is, where it's not readily.
I have the cowbell that got me in trouble in the NCAA tournament. I still have that one.
All right, so I want to go back to Obi-Wan. So you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it, but you can talk about it if you want, or you can wait.
I want to wait till you see it, but it is.
Yeah. So here's what you got to do, Joe. Tomorrow evening, send me a text and say, drop what you're doing and go watch Obi-Wan, and I promise you, I will do that.
All right. Even if
I don't know what time of day you're going to do it, what I'll be doing, whatever.
It's
unless I'm driving. And let me just preface that unless I'm driving, because I have to obviously drive.
Right. No, I know. So I think Obi-Wan, it's gonna spring.
Because he said it's only like 2 or 3 episodes right now, yeah.
Right. Yeah, three episodes, and Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness is out on Disney Plus, June 22nd.
All right, so I'm gonna watch that too. Although, speaking of happy wife, happy life, my anniversary is on the 23rd. So
watch it on the 22nd.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it on
the 22nd is a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. So I'll watch it when I get home. Heck, yeah. I'll probably put it in my AirPods when I go to the gym that night or whatever. And
I go to church on Wednesday nights, so I'd have to do it after. But I mean, I work late.
Yeah, so. You work late. I'm hoping that they put the extra scenes in that everybody cut out.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How does my sound to you today? Does it sound the same, or is it better, or what do you think?
I don't know. That's almost
no noticeable change.
No noticeable.
Okay,
change.
let me explain. I had this nightmare. So you guys are probably familiar with Blue Yeti microphones.
I'm just curious why how this nightmare unfolds, but okay.
Yeah, well, okay. So I had a microphone issue going on for a while that I knew about, and what it was is my 4K video camera has a microphone built in, and I have had since 2018. I've had a independent mic, right? So that's nothing new. But the original one that I bought, which I really loved, it gave up the ghost. It died. Okay. So I had to get a new one. So I was familiar with Blue Yeti from doing all the interviews with people, but it was a little bit old information, I guess. So anyways, I got one, and it kept bouncing back and forth between the mic on my camera and the Blue Yeti. And I'm like, well, this is stupid, because it was cutting in and out. And when it would cut out, it would go really quiet, and then it would cut in, and it was really loud. And so it was a nightmare for my guests, right? I couldn't hear it, but they could hear it. So then I got one of my friends who runs podcast business. His name is Travis Johnson. He goes, hey, you should just get this one. It's inexpensive, but it works really well. What he didn't know is I run my sound, or I was running my sound, through my TV. I have 4 monitors, and one of the monitors is a 40-inch TV, Hisense TV, right? It's just 40 inches. But because I do graphic design, I like to have something really large so I can see down to the pixel level and see it very well. So anyways, when I plugged in the microphone, the new one that I got, which actually works really well, the output, what was happening was the sound for my TV disappeared. It killed the driver somehow. And I was like, oh no, this is a problem. So then I had to have the earphones on, which I don't like to do that, because then I don't hear myself at the right volume. It sounds weird, but anyways. So it was this whole month process, but I finally got some external speakers that work with this microphone so that it's all one nice system. And anyways, I forgot to ask you last week if my sound sounded okay.
It sounded great last week. That I didn't notice anything different.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anybody say anything about it, but I forgot to. I've not asked anybody. So, anyways.
But Mariella says you need to go to Sweetwater.
Well, I feel stupid for not asking. I should have, because her husband does music over video, and I'm sure he's very picky. So, yeah. Thank you, Mariella. I feel stupid now for not asking that, but thank you. From now on, I will. There you go. See, this is why we talk about stuff.
That is exactly why we talk about.
Look what I just did. I got opinion from somebody without asking for their opinion, but now I don't feel like.
See,
but I'm educated.
Listen, I'm not giving you. I understand you're going to do whatever you want. So,
well, no, the thing is, I mean, I'm studying and learning and all that stuff still. I'm just, I think what it is, the point of the challenge is so that you don't. It's to help you fight the imposter syndrome or feel like, you're not competent to make. A lot. Most of the time, you know what you need to do, and you don't need that validation from other people to do it. Right? That's kind of the point of it, I think.
So it's just like Jim Carrey in The Yes Man.
I don't think I ever saw the Yes Man.
So it's he couldn't say no to anybody. He had to say yes for everything.
Yeah.
There's some funny parts in there, wasn't it?
I think I did see that because that sounds familiar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoe
eventually,
I think
was that for like 24 hours though? It was some like time period where he couldn't say no, and then
I don't know if it was 24 hours. It's been a while since I've seen it.
When
you say that that part, it just remembers or that.
Yeah. It's in there somewhere, but anyways. Yeah, so the point of this challenge is not to be obstinate or like an ass or anything. It's just because like what makes somebody else's opinion on what I should do more weighty than what my opinion is. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So, I mean, there is something to it. Now, I'm not saying that people should live like that forever, but the challenge was issued. It sounded like a good idea. And I got to tell you, so far, it's been a week. A couple minor issues, but nothing major. No knockdown, drag out fights. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That is a real. I mean, as long as there's only minor issues. I mean, I know how I would do some of the things. I would be making jokes out of it, though.
Well,
so when I get off this, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to tell Jen about the challenge you're doing, and I'm going to tell her that, listen, for the next 60 days, I'll give my own opinions.
You better stand back a little.
Yeah, after Catwoman beats me up.
Yeah, just stand back a little bit. And I don't know that I want you telling her it was my idea either, because I don't want her to hate me even more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Stop it.
No, she's awesome.
Yeah,
hey, can we talk about my event?
Yes, please do.
So if you could do me a favor, go to bowmandigitalmedia.com, and then it's under the about. It's on the about menu. It's the bottom one. What it's called is SoCal, which is short for Southern California. SoCal Business.
Am I supposed to be sharing my screen too?
Yeah, you have to do that if you want to do it. Right. But it's called the SoCal Business Network Supercharger. And the idea here is there's actually an advantage for both groups. There's advantage for the speaker and there's advantage for the network. I tried to create a true win-win event for everybody. So what I've got going on, the speakers, like I created my media kit. I think you saw it, right?
Right.
So that also is on my website if you want to show it. And by the way, we're not seeing the screen.
I know. I'm almost there.
That's okay. So, but I can keep going. So what I did, and this is one of those things that I had been thinking about doing for a long time, but I just decided. So the media kit's there on the right, but yeah, go into that drop down, and then it's the bottom one. There you go.
And remember, I'm learning how to do this. So
yeah, no, you're doing fine.
I'm actually impressed with myself.
You're doing fine. Okay, you can just leave it right there for a second. Okay.
All right.
So the idea, right? Like, what do people want on social media? They want to build their network, right? You want more followers, connections, friends, whatever they call it, because everybody calls it different things. That's always going to be true, I think. But that's also should be true in life, right? Like you and I both have a Rolodex, pardon the old man expression, because these whippersnappers are like, what's a Rolodex? But you have a lot of connections that you know, people that you know who do things, right? Well, how do you make more of those? One of the ways that you can supercharge, and that's why I use the word supercharge, your network is to meet more people in person, because there is a bond that happens faster when you're meeting somebody face to face, even better than video. Okay. So it's like now that we're post pandemic, and look, I'm not trying to minimize the pandemic stuff. I know there was a lot of important stuff that happened with the separations and right, but we're moving on. Okay. It is what it is. So the world's moving on. So now, after 2 years of kind of everybody getting used to basically being isolated and not being, you know, in a room with strangers,
Right.
I'm trying to give people the an opportunity to get out of their comfort zone and grow, because you will not grow if you sit where you're comfortable. And let me tell you something. I made a post about this last week, and I'm dead serious about it, even though the imagery was shocking. Comfort is more addictive than cocaine. Okay. Yep. We want to be comfortable, and we're going to do everything we can as a human being to stay comfortable. And that's why we don't grow as much as we could. So the idea here is two parts. For the audience, I'm trying to give you a place where you can come and grow, get out of that comfort zone a little bit, meet people who are like-minded, just like with Project Help You Grow. That was an extremely successful campaign that I ran, right? I helped a lot of people grow. I helped people get jobs. So that was the kind of mindset that I was going into this thing for. But here's what I did for speakers, and even people that don't necessarily have a deep portfolio in speaking. I had you in mind. Here's what it is. You can come and be a speaker. Now, it's not free. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. The people have to pay to speak at this event, and they also have to, you know, they have to pass my application process, which is basically, I just want to know what you're speaking about and make sure it's of value. Okay. But the speech that you give will not only be presented to the crowd that's there, and you'll have networking opportunities to meet them so you can gain business from it, but also I'm going to be doing a professional photo shoot of everybody who's speaking, and I'm bringing a second shooter. So there's actually going to be two cameras going for these photos. So then you can take that and parlay that on your media kit or your social media or email or however you want to use the tool. These photos, professional photos of you on stage, so that you can land more speaking opportunities.
Yep.
Right? Now, the other part of that for these media kits, let's say you've never been on a podcast before, or you have a very skinny resume when it comes to podcast appearances. There's a lot of podcast hosts out there who will not bring you on their show because you don't have enough sample size for them to go through and go, yeah, this is going to make a good guest. So these media kits that we build at Bowman Digital Media help with that, but you don't have to buy a media kit as long as you have the tools to show people your resume. So one of my friends who you may not have met yet, Joe, but he's in the group that we belong to. His name is Travis Johnson. He helps businesses launch their own podcast, but he has his own podcast, if that makes sense.
Yep.
He's going to come and interview the speakers at the show in a podcast appearance. So you're going to get the photos of you speaking, and you're going to get to be on a podcast to help you with your credentials to be a future speaker. So if you want to scroll down just a little bit, I explain in this what it is, but there's live speakers, networking, prizes, lunch, and more. And the and more is going to be a couple things. I'm going to do part of this is going to be broadcast live, so like a LinkedIn Live. And part of it also is going to be, I don't have it firm yet, but I'm trying to get a videographer to commit to coming and to record the video speeches so that we can do like a compilation video, like 60 seconds highlight reel, if you will, so that people can put that on their website or social media as well. And again, it's just to build their portfolio. So the speakers get something out of it. the audience gets something out of it, and even the people that follow us here online who can't come, because this will be in Escondido, which is just outside of San Diego and just south of LA. It's here in Southern California, but it's going to be held at the Center for the Arts, California, Escondido. Very nice facility. It'll be a nice stage. We're sparing no expense, so that way the photos and the video come out top quality. We're going to have screens on either side of the speakers. It's going to be really, really well done. And everybody who comes gets lunch. Lunch is included.
And prizes.
And prizes. Yeah, I've already got like Curtis Tompkins from Job Ready Today. He's verbally committed to doing some door prizes. So we've got some sponsors. I've got
Curtis.
Yeah, Desert Rose is going to be a sponsor. They are a treatment center facility in Las Vegas, and actually the founder of that, Bianca McCall, is going to be giving a speech that day. She's one of the speakers. We've got 8 speakers committed, and I've got 4 people on the. I'm thinking about it, including Ryan Jackson's wife, Brianna. I've got her on the strong possibility. She's expressed interest in it, anyways. So, anyways, if you want to pull that down, you can. Or actually, can you just click over to the media kit real quick? Because I'll show them what they could do with it. So you go to. This is the reason why I put this on my website is because we build these at Bowman Digital Media, but also I just want to show people what it is. So a media kit, what you're doing is you're basically giving people a digital resume of your qualifications to be on their podcast or on their show. Maybe they have a radio show or whatever. So you do a bio, and you scroll down, you do a little bit about your business, and then you scroll down, you do anything that's really interesting about you. Like I'm a professional photographer. So I've got photos. Joe's going to keep scrolling. You're good. Like that pace, but keep going.
Okay.
So here's photos that I've taken, right? Just to kind of give people an idea of what are you doing? You're building a
person right there.
Yeah, you're building a case of why you'd be an interesting guest or qualified guest. So then next is my TEDx talk, which that video has been viewed over 1,000 times on their page and over 5,000 times on mine, which I'm excited. So I've got over 6,000 views of my TEDx talk so far, which makes me really excited. There's this guy, Joe Stepke. I don't know anything about this Cup of Joe show, but podcast appearances. There's our friend Pete and Damon and Catherine Contos. Anyways, then I host shows like this one live. So that's next. And then the final piece, if you scroll down just a little bit further, is the questions that you pre-prepare for the podcast or the show host to ask you, right? So you've got, in my case, I've got 25 pre-selected questions. Now, they can ask me other things. I'm just trying to make it easy for them to see my value as a guest and make it easy for them to bring me on as a guest. I'm doing all the legwork I can for them, right? And then the final piece is, just a way for them to get a hold of you, right? So contact form. And
I love this. I need to have it on mine.
We're going to make one for you.
I know a guy. So
yeah, we absolutely are. We just I need this content from you.
I know. I know you're doing it. See, so
and see there too, entrepreneur, photographer, all that stuff.
Yep.
That is my headline from LinkedIn. That's exactly what it is. So the reason why I put all that stuff up there, because sometimes they're looking for an author for a podcast, or they're looking for somebody that's good with SEO or, a graphic designer. So it's not just your main title, what you do for a living.
Right.
All the categories like, I'm a philanthropist. A lot of people don't associate that word with me because they don't think about Project Help You Grow as a philanthropy, but it absolutely is because it's a service that I offer free charge. And I've been doing it now for 4 years. You know what I mean? It's not like I just started. So even though I'm not known for philanthropy per se, it is a big part of my story.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would tell you it's the reason why I succeeded when I did. Including
I would say so.
It had a big part to do with it.
Some of it. I mean, I wouldn't say that's how you succeeded in Bowman Digital Media.
Yeah, no. That was something different, but yeah.
But I would say building my
network. Yeah.
Definitely
certainly helped. 2018 to 2019, a lot of the growth was because of Project Help You Grow, no doubt about it.
And I know Bowman Digital Media, they do not just that, but you build websites. What's everything that you do?
So if you hit the services arrow there, Just hover right there. There you go. We got social media management, SEO, which is search engine optimization. A lot of people don't know what that means. What that means is basically if you're in a search engine and you're not being found, you're obscure, and you want to get to like the top page or the second page, up near the top at least, we do a couple different things called SEO to help you rank better. That's what SEO is. It's not magic. It's a lot of nerdy stuff, honestly, but it's a service. And it's one of those things, it isn't like, it doesn't happen overnight. If somebody says I can get you to the top of the page in a month, you got to know one of two things. They're either don't know what they're doing and they're scamming you, or they're going to get you to rank in something that's so obscure that it isn't going to make you any practical difference. You need to rank for the things that you want to be found for, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I tell people, if you had like $5,000 to do SEO, don't spend it in 1 month. Split it up into 12 even parts. Now you got $600 a month, and do that. No, my math is wrong there. I'm sorry, $400 a month. But take $400 a month and spend it that way, because that little bit of work consistently each month will do better than one big push and then doing nothing for the rest of the year. Okay.
Right.
So anyways, then beyond that, we build websites. Obviously, we also maintain them. I'm a graphic designer. Joe knows that because I make graphics for him all the time. Photography work. That's I think most people know I do photos now, and video services. So like today for Stellar Insight, what he does a podcast. Here you go. So he does a podcast. He records it on Zoom and he sends it to me. And then I have built the intro, the outro, what we call alpha graphics. You might think of those as PNG files. But that's your lower thirds and your pop and stuff. So I add all that stuff for him. I add the music and then I export it. And then I load it for him on his YouTube channel. And then I put it on his website. So that's video services. We create videos, but mainly we more are doing the editing and the finishing pieces for our clients. So we do more like social media videos than we do Hollywood production studio type.
And I know another good website you've built.
Yeah, this was my first professional website, right? Everything else I did before that, I call it a hobby, but this is the one I built because Joe knew a guy.
I knew a guy.
Joe knew a guy.
I just happened to be at the.
Can we talk about something real quick on this topic?
Go ahead.
So,
do you want me to get off my page?
No, I want you to scroll down. Scroll down to the video right there.
This one?
69% of Americans do not have $1,000 in the bank. Okay, that's a problem, first of all. But I want to talk about inflation real quick because I have a feeling that a lot of people don't know this, and it's important. It's like this is us helping humanity.
Oh, go ahead. The finance guy is
yeah, here's the thing. If you have your money in a checking account, the interest rate, the average interest rate in the United States right now is 0.03%. Less than 1%, 0.03. Okay. 0.3, not 3. Yeah. That's 0.3 of 1%. Okay. If you have a savings account, it's 0.06. And if you have a money market account, then it's 0.09% on average. Those three numbers on average. The inflation rate in the United States right now is somewhere between 8.5% and 9%. What does that mean? If you have your money and you're sitting in a checking account, a savings account, or a money market account, all the traditional places you would store your money, right? Because it's safe. I get it. Some of my money is in that too. But here's the problem. Would you take your money and set it on fire and let 8% of it burn a year? You would never do that, right?
Nope.
But that's exactly what's happening right now with our money that sits in the bank. So here's what I am suggesting. And again, I'm not a professional. I'm not asking Joe, the finance guy, to make this. I'm saying this is
obviously because you don't care about anybody's opinions for the next 60 days.
Right. This is me, Ira Bowman, talking to you, saying this, folks. Find other places to store your money that makes a better return on investment, whether that be real estate or whether that be some form of art, or buy precious metals like gold, silver, stuff like that. Or God forbid you look at crypto. Look, I don't know if you guys saw the book that I'm reading. It's called The Bitcoin Standard. And one of the reasons why I'm reading it, it's too bright, so it's not showing up. But anyways, it's called The Bitcoin Standard, the decentralized alternative to central banking. The reason why I'm reading it is because I am studying all about the blockchain and cryptocurrency right now. Because like most of you probably watching this, when it first came out back in 2008, I thought it was the equivalency of somebody trying to sell me the king's golden wardrobe. I thought it was all phooey, a scam. I didn't want nothing to do with it because it scared the dickens out of me. Like it was just, I was sure it was garbage. But it turns out I was wrong. And I'm okay to admit that, right? I was wrong. So I learned about the blockchain. I'm still learning, but I studied the blockchain and I found out all the blockchain really is an accounting mechanism. It's like the books, the transactions of what people are buying and selling in these cryptocurrencies. And it's done in 2 meg blocks and it's propagated on servers all around the world. It's virtually impossible to crack these things. The only way somebody can steal your money basically is if they steal your identity, if they get your login credentials. If you're not careful with that, they can get into your account and move your money. But most people think that crypto is risky. It's risky from an investment standpoint. Yes, there's volatility there.
You're right.
Yeah, do your research, but not risky from the standpoint of having your information hacked, like network. Because think about what happens with credit cards. Like you shop at Sears or you shop at Target or you shop at any place online, Amazon. These companies are getting their databases. Mariella will tell you. These places are getting their information hacked all the time. And your payment information is in there. And so your credit card information is there. It's crazy. Okay. So let's talk about, Mariella says,
do you agree with having a stock of cash hidden at home?
I do agree with it a little bit. I will tell you why. Because there is something nice about being liquid and having some money. I have a safe in my house. In full disclosure, I have guns and money. Right? I'm ready for a rainy day. So there is something about liquidity. And actually, a lot of these books I'm reading talks about that. But you also could have gold. You don't have to have cash. You could have gold, right? So you could have a different things. And she's agreeing with me on that she's talking about these companies are getting hacked by the millions. Like their databases, they're stealing millions and millions of credit cards all in one fell swoop. So anyways, my whole point, and if you want to go down from this, my whole point of this conversation was just so that people think about what's happening to their money. Because I think too many people are living in 1990 in their mind, and the world isn't 1990 right now.
I think, listen, I changed and I started doing that. I got the same book, so I'm reading it with you. Booyah. And the same thing. I think it's called iBond. I was bringing it up for people, and I believe the most that you could put in is $10,000 a year per person. So if you and your wife
got an IRA account,
it's called an iBond, and you see,
because an IRA is $6,000.
So if you were able to 9.62%,
that's better than inflation. That's a tool that somebody could use.
Yep.
Anything. Look, if it's over 8.5% and it's got a guaranteed. Because don't forget, there are whole life insurance policies and other type of insurance policies out there. Again, I'm not a professional. Seek your own financial advice, but I'm just talking in generalities here so you have some ideas. But one of the things that I'm doing with the Bowman money is we're putting a portion of that into an insurance policy, not really for the insurance part, although the insurance part is part of the strategy, but mainly as an investment vehicle.
And that's awesome to do.
Yeah. So anyways, it's just food for thought. Now, this website, what Joe's website does is he's helping retail companies who are trying to increase sales without spending any extra money. This is a no resources needed process. Right. And for the looky-loos or the window shoppers who come in your stores who don't have the money to buy the item that they need and want, instead of giving them a layaway program, this replaces layaway, which is the video that's up right there.
Correct.
I call it the modern day layaway replacement program, but it's so much better because of this. The store owner gets paid right away. So you don't have to pay to inventory it and buy a new product and all that stuff. They get paid right away. It doesn't cost them anything. So there's no money out of your pocket. There's just money going in for whatever the sale is. The consumer is the one who pays the fees for this. But the consumer also, unlike layaway, where they had to wait till they paid the whole thing off before they got to take the product home, this way they walk out of the store with the product. Yep. So the client gets to buy what they want right then and there. They get to leave with the product right then and there. They do pay there are some service fees and some stuff. And the fees vary depending on how long it takes them to pay it off. If they pay it off in the first 90 days, it's cheaper than if they take more than 90 days.
With the first lease early purchase option, but
there you go. There you go. Yeah. I'm just speaking.
I want to speak the right language.
All right. Well, this is your area. I'm just trying to sell it.
No. And I think you're doing great. So I appreciate that.
I feel like I know the vernacular pretty well because I've been working with you for so long.
Yeah. And
it was 2 years ago.
I've
Joe.
confided in you.
Joe.
Yes.
It was 2 years ago this weekend.
Was it really?
Yeah. My anniversary is the 5th.
So it happened this weekend when you and I were on the podcast or on the Zoom call?
Yeah, in 2 hours from now we got on the Zoom call. In 2.5 hours from now is when I got the bomb.
Yeah. Well, see, look at all good things.
Hey, we still talk on Fridays.
Yeah, we still do. That's actually a good thing. But wow, that is awesome.
So if you guys aren't familiar with Joe the Finance Guy, look, that's why you should use it because this is it's the definition of a no-brainer for any retail company because it doesn't cost you anything. Right. And Joe's company has an app, so they can do it right there on their phone. The application process is very quick. It happens almost instantaneously. So all they really need to qualify, Joe, let's talk about this. They need a job for 90 days or more, right?
Yeah. For your customers, if what I do is I sign up retail partners. Yeah. So whether you are an e-retailer, e-commerce, or a brick and mortar location,
or both,
it doesn't matter. You get the value of you have me. You have me, and I will help grow.
So you had me at hello. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But with that being said, for your customers come and they can get approved within 25 seconds, up to $4,000. It's very simple, easy. It's a one-page, application that they fill out, and we're not basing it on a person's credit, which is great. And just going back to what Ira said earlier about, and what's on my website is 69% of Americans don't even have $1,000 in their account.
And that is hard.
Things happen? Like we're in the summer now, like with appliances, and refrigerators breaking down. Maybe the window unit that you have breaks down. Things happen that break down. Tires go bald quicker, and burst. Whatever it is, these are emergency situations that people need those items, and sometimes they can't get them right away. And that's where Joe, the Finance Guy, myself, is here to help get your retail guests in there and get something that they want. And not only that, some of the things that I've learned from Ira over the years, past the 2 years, not from 2 years with Bowman Digital, because we did other things. Nonprofit. And I've learned a lot through SEO, social media posts. How to grow your business is just as important as bringing the customers in, because one, you need to be able to use social media and your website and everything else to attract those customers.
You're making me blush over here, brother. I love it. And I think that people need to not minimize what you're saying here. I don't think that most people actually, I will tell you this, right? It's going to sound a little bit self-serving, but it's true. When people hire Bowman Digital Media, they're thinking about the service that we'll provide them, right? I'm going to make a video. I'm going to build a website. I'm going to run their social media, whatever. They're thinking about what they're actually buying. They don't think about all the extra stuff that comes with it, like the networking and the friends. Just by hanging out with Joe, you're going to get support from Ira Bowman. I know what I mean? Like, you may not understand that, but I have hundreds of thousands of followers.
Right.
Not just on LinkedIn, but across social media.
Right.
And Joe and I dance together everywhere, man. So if Joe says you're the guy, you're the guy, and that we roll like that.
And that's just normal what I do, because I like doing that. You know,
That's why you and I get along so well.
right?
Because
It's a win-win for everybody.
But we don't do anything part way. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're gonna hire me. Well, this is my job and this isn't my job. You never hear Joe say that or I say that. Like if you need help, we'll try and figure it out.
Right. I've had people come to me and go, "Hey, listen, I'm looking at totally not what I do." But I love being that business partner that they essentially don't pay.
Yeah.
And
you're a conduit, but you're a conduit too.
Right.
Because if you can't do it, you know somebody. Right. This is why Joe always says, I know a guy, and we make a kind of a joke out of it, but that's really what we're talking about here. I know a guy. It's like, I don't do that. I can't help you with, this or that other thing, but I know somebody who can.
Right. Somebody was talking about credit card fees and on something like that. And they're going like this, man, I wish there was a way that I didn't have to pay it. Listen, I know a guy. And
introduce me to that person.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know how much I'm paying right now in credit card processing? You're talking about processing fees for my business?
Yep.
Oh, it's insane.
Every time that you swipe that, and there's another way to do it. And I found out how, and I hook them up.
My company doesn't swipe any physical cards. It's all done via our accounting stuff. But yeah, if there's another way to do it that makes it, because I'm losing money.
Well,
like
sorry about that.
The banks love
I know a guy. Listen. I'll have my guy call you.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure
definitely. Because if they can help me out, that's a win for me. Heck yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely will do that.
Hey, I just noticed we're 8 minutes over.
Yeah, we're 8 minutes over. I know you have to go.
I do have to go.
And stuff, but Ira, next I will text you tomorrow night about Obi-Wan.
We're going to talk about it next week. And so if you don't want to watch, what we'll do is we'll announce when we're going to start talking about Obi-Wan. So you can either turn the sound off or whatever. And we'll have a timer. So we'll say, okay, we'll talk about it for 10 minutes or something. And then you can turn the sound back on 10 minutes later. But we're definitely going to be talking about it. So here's what we do. Invite you to splurge a little bit this week. Take some time just to veg out on the couch, get your Netflix going. It is Netflix, right? Go to Netflix.
And Netflix. No, it's Disney Plus.
Okay, go to Disney Plus, find your Obi-Wan, watch the 3 episodes, come back and talk to us. Look, we talk about a lot of pointless stuff. Today, we did some heavy lifting here today.
Yeah,
so
we did.
Hopefully you guys take this to heart. We don't, just a full disclosure, usually it's a little bit more light than what we're doing today. But I really wanted to talk about once you pulled that up and it reminded me about the $1,000 in the bank, about the finance, because that it breaks my heart to think there's a lot of people struggling out there financially right now. And they know to put their money in the bank, thinking that's the safest place.
That's the right way to do it, but they don't know the right vessel. And
yeah,
funny, the IBAN thing was told to me. It was another guy I know.
I didn't know about that one, so
I'll share that with you too.
Yeah,
5.62%. Just keep it in for 15 months and then take it out if you need.
Yeah, just remember, guys. Right now, the inflation rate is 8.5%. What does that mean? If you're making anything less than 8.5% on your money is evaporating. It means you're burning it. Okay. So if you have an interest rate that's 8.5%, you're just sticking right now with the rate of inflation. You're not losing, you're not gaining. In Joe's investment that he talked about, the IBAN, if you're at 9.62 or whatever it was, you're actually making 1.12% return on investment. That is way, way, way better than losing money right now.
Yep.
Okay. So anyways, again, we're not financial advisors when it comes to, money investing. So talk to your folks, whoever you trust, but think about it, because I don't want
you. Your guy would know. Talk to your guy.
Yeah, talk to your person.
Talk to your person. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, we say guy, we mean generic.
I just say guy because being married to a New York Italian, it just goes, no guy.
Yeah,
I'm from Chicago though, but
yeah, we're not trying to infer that it has to be male.
Right.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, brother. I will see you. Look, guys, next week we're back on regular time, so it'll be on my channel next week. It's going to be Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's 6 p.m. Eastern time, correct for wherever you are. We'll be on live Facebook, YouTube, and of course on LinkedIn.
Have a great visit, Ira. All right.
Thanks, Bill. Love you, brother.
Later, bye.
Yep. See it. BowmanDigitalMedia.com
JoeTheFinanceGuy.com.